Hi, my name is Tim Bradrick, and this is my code demonstration for my capstone project, Scoundrel Scrolls. Um, week 8, or rather, Milestone 8, week 12. Um, let's see here. A lot of content that I added this week. Um, what you're looking here is the Unity editor of the maze section that I created. Um, Basically, what this is a 4x4 grid and all covered up with the fading bushes. What I did when I constructed this was to add all these bushes in an organized manner, and then there are a series of bushes in different columns, and then there are a set of vertical bushes as well. And I took out the ones that would always be in existence or would never be in existence among the three maze maps that I had created. And these are the walls that are potential for being eliminated during the game. Now, the code that I have is here. Basically, I take the objects and assign them inside of the code, and I just give these little designators the V or the H, whether they're vertical or horizontal, and then the row number and the column number, and then have them all turn on in case there was a previous version of the game that ran. I discovered that some of the walls would disappear but would not reappear. And then it picks a random number between 1 and 3. And then it chooses a certain set of walls, which I had previously mapped out some possible mazes to look at, and I chose 3. I had looked at some algorithms for randomly choosing a map. The problem I had with that is some of them would be trivially easy to solve, where sometimes there would be a no solution. The exit could be cordoned off basically from the rest of the map. So I went there and chose 3 different maps that were roughly the same distance. And that's basically what this code does. It just goes and picks that set of items, the set of walls to eliminate. Now, the next section that I had on my task list was the prize box. That's what this section here is. Zoom in on it. Let's see here if we can find the prize box here. Basically, the prize is not generated until the character comes along and enters this circular collider, and then the script runs and determines the prize. And let's see here. There are basically 2 scripts that I have that manage the prizes. One of them is an inventory list, very similar to what you saw before, a scroll box where if you click on a button, it adds it to the inventory. Let's see here. Yeah, down here, right there. Okay. And there's a special case if you want an acorn prize, and that's what this code right here determines. It will add it to your acorns in hand, and that's predetermined. Let's look over here at the awards list. This is where the time value of the race is compared and saved. Let's see here. When the race is complete, I have a time manager class here, and it determines when the race is complete, basically when the character goes past the checkered flag, and then it calculates based on the previous score. Every character starts out with a time of 59 minutes and 59 seconds, and that's a total of 3,599 seconds. And if your previous score was that, you get the beginner list of prizes to choose from. Other than that, it takes your previous score and compares it with your current score. The previous score was saved up here. And basically, there's two values that it compares. I could add more in the future. And if there's a variable called prize value, and it adds 1 to the prize value. If your score was under 4 minutes, you're added to 1, and if your score was lower than your previous score by 95%, it adds it. And if those two conditions apply, you get a high value prize list, and otherwise you get a low value prize list if you're not a beginner. Now, determining the beginner list, in my master object list where I assign all of the objects in the game, I developed a additional method to generate the list of prizes. There's a set that everybody always gets. Everybody always gets 2 possible acorns prizes and 2 possible sets of clothing, and then 1 set of clothing and 2 consumables. That's what it is. Okay, and then based on the award level that's passed to it, if you're a beginner, you also get a star. A star will permanently increase one of your stats. And then if you're at the low ranking, you get to choose from an additional consumable and a chance at another star. There's a 1% chance for that. A random number between 0 and 99 is selected, and if it's 0, you get a star, and that star is randomly chosen as well. If you're at a high ranking, you get an additional acorn award at a higher value, an additional set of clothing to choose from, an additional consumable, and then a 10% chance at a star. So the value increases as you perform better. And then you get 3 picks while you're collecting from the box itself. All right, next, the bird. I had developed a brown bird character. Let's see if we can find him here on the adventure area. There he is, flying around. Obviously, I need to make some corrections to him, but in the neighborhood area, he was working just fine, exactly as intended. In the adventure area, I haven't tested him enough, but obviously, there's some things that I need to fix. Let's take a look at some of the colliders. This big, oddly shaped one is the detection collider. That's where he can detect where the squirrel is, the area, and it moves along with his body. And then there are some additional colliders on the tops of the telephone poles. So we can zoom in here. That one has electrical ones, so and then there and down here. Okay. And then there's also a location where he flies away to, as well as some waypoints, if we can zoom out to the waypoints. So he starts there, he flies to the right, flies back to the left, and then back to the right, and then he should fly back to 0 at the end. So we'll take a look at the code for the bird, the brown bird. Okay, I have 3 scripts that I had created for him. let's see here. We have a list of waypoints and the exit location. We have two different speeds, attack speed and cruising speed. Attack speed is obviously higher. And then we have a number of different states that the bird can be in. And let's see here. Starts out with some basic assignment values. He starts out at waypoint 0 and aiming towards waypoint 1, and then all the states are set to false. So he's in cruising condition. In the cruising condition, that's this one right here, there are several different sections here which I'll cover. In the cruising condition, he's just simply moving towards the next goal location. So there is a move towards the game object is the bird. That's the goal, and then the speed at which he's flying, modified for the time value of the rate that the processor processes. And then it compares the distance between him and the target. So, I mean, that's basically the Pythagorean theorem there. Distance x squared plus the distance y squared added up, and the square root of that. And then if that distance is less than 1 in unity units, which are assumed to be simulating meters, then it advances to the next path leg. Now down here it chooses a different path, and basically what path is it on, and it chooses the number. If the number is over 3, it resets it to 0, so it just goes back and forth between that. And then occasionally you have to flip the sprite to make sure that he's aiming in the correct direction. All right, now the other items that I have here modify his behavior. There is an area where the bird is watching. That's that collider, that pentagon, oddly shaped pentagon, I guess. That's this one right here. If a object enters the collider and it checks to make sure that the object is a player, it gives a screeching sound. And then if that character is not hidden, then it goes into attack mode. If the character is hidden, then it goes into, it does not go into attack mode. Now, this is passed into the other one over here. So if it's in attack mode, now the goal is to attack the squirrel at a higher speed. So, and then, the speed's back here, using that as the attack speed. And then it checks to see if the squirrel moved into the trees. If it did move into the trees, it will stop attacking. And continue from there. And then the last script that I have here, this is attached to the areas here, the confusion areas, basically. It sets, puts a setting on the player or the bird itself. If either of these are set, it will go back into cruising mode. And then finally, after the attack, if the attack is complete, the bird flies off some distance away, and that's the exit location there. Okay, and let's see here. And then if the bird actually hits the squirrel, it causes 2 points of damage on him, and it throws him a little distance here. So it adds force to his rigid body. And that's basically that for the bird.